Hey everybody, Rob Brooks here. We just finished up with the non-conference portion of our schedule, so I figured it'd be a good time to sit down with the head coach, Bruiser, Flint, and talk about what's gone so far, and then maybe at some other point talk about what's coming ahead for the Drexel Dragons. So Brew, welcome, first of all. We're hanging out here at Modell's, 1528 Chestnut Street downtown in your city.
Yeah, got some people buying some sixes there. They're true fans there when you're buying some sixes
Well,
gear.
you know, sixes and flyers, that's all there is right now. You got to believe in something till this winter is over. Let's start with this. I mean, you guys were off to a great start. You're going to China. You're going to have the team prepared, and then many times you said half the guys we had in China didn't even play. All the things we played in China, we couldn't do once the season started.
Yeah,
Talk to us a little
it
bit
was
about
just
that.
bad timing with a lot of the stuff, the injuries. You know, we go to China, and then we come back, and everything happened like the last week of October. So you throw away a lot of the stuff that you try to do, you're almost starting over again. So the injuries have been tough, but you know, I guess they're not going to stop the season because the injuries are there. So we got to play better basketball. We have not played well in the non-conference. That's why our record is what it is, and we got to get ourselves going. You know what I mean? We just, you know, at times we can't sustain effort, which hurt us a little bit. We play a little bit out of sync, but you know that's going to happen because of the things that we're going through off the court in terms of our injuries. And hopefully, come league play, we get some stuff underneath our belts, and guys, we're ready to go.
I think one of the things that people may not understand is although they see 8 guys out there, you know, game time, practice time, you're short players, and it's really hard for you to sort of change things up with the number of guys you have in practice right now.
Yeah, we actually had an instance in the last game where a kid who's been hurt, Austin Williams, been hurt. We said, okay, this is what we're going to do, and he pretty much said in the huddle, yo, I wasn't here for that. So that sums up a lot of the things that have been going on with us. You know, it limits the things that you can do out there. And you know, honestly, we pretty much had to start over again once we had all the injuries. Because we put a lot of guys out there now who weren't familiar for what we were doing, put guys in different spots they weren't used to being in. You know what I mean? Guys' responsibilities became a little bit more than they were when we thought we were going to start the season. But again, like I said, you know that's not an excuse. Still got to play the games. Still got to get ourselves together. We got to be. We play a little disorganized. You know, I got to do a better job of getting the guys, even when we're really short in practice, understanding, hey, this is what we need to do. If I do a better job with that, hopefully we catch on and we start getting some victories.
It didn't work out as well as we'd have hoped, but for the first time this year, you had 2 Big 5 schools coming through. You had St. Joe's and LaSalle at the DAC, and I mean, that's something you've really been lobbying for and trying to get these guys to come around to, and for the first time this year, you had those
No, I thought we
guys
had a great home schedule. Too bad that we haven't really won any games there, but you know, Iona's a really good team. We had the 2 Big 5 schools, the teams that I thought that we had, Southern Miss was coming off a 21-win season. Even the Sciences, you know, we lost to. I mean, you know, so I thought we had a great non-conference, and we usually don't play that many non-conference games at home. We had 5 games we usually don't have. It was the most we've had in a long time. So, but we unfortunately we haven't played very well at home, and we've lost a lot of those games. And but hopefully we can continue that, especially with the 2 teams, with the St. Joe's and LaSalle. St. Joe's will definitely continue it. Hopefully LaSalle will continue when we go home and home with those guys.
One of the bright spots in the early part of the non-conference was the play of Damian Lim. And coming off the injury, you never know how a player is going to respond to that, but he came out the first couple of games and was really on fire.
No, he's played pretty well. You know, the book is out on him a little bit, knowing that, you know, you got to be on top of him. He's had 2 boxing ones played him this year. You know, that really doesn't happen in Division I basketball, so that shows you what type of start that he got off to. You know, he got to learn to do some other things now because people are starting to play him a little differently than they did at the beginning of the season, you know, when they get the tape out on him. But I think he's done well with his knee, you know, done some things. We got to get him out there and practice a little bit more. You know, we've been a little cautious with him with the surgery. So hopefully he's continuing. He's leading the league in scoring. He's shooting a pretty decent percentage, which is pretty good. But we still got to get him out there to understand that sometimes we get a little out of sync when he's out there on the court and he hasn't been practicing.
Forced to play a lot of freshmen this year. Talk to us a little bit about how Rashawn and Ty and Austin back on the floor now, how some of these guys are playing for you.
They've been freshmen, you know what I mean? They've been good some days. They've been really bad some days. So they've had their ups and downs. We've thrown them in the fire. You know, we've taken our lumps because of it. Hopefully it's hardened us a little bit so when we get into league play, We've had a demanding non-conference schedule. We played some pretty good teams, and we paid the price for it a little bit with the injuries and having to play all the young guys. So hopefully they've hardened them. But they've had their good days. You know, Rashawn has had his good days. He's had his bad. You know, Tyshawn has had his good days. He had his bad. I think Sammy Mohique has been the one kid who progressively was going, you know, not really playing well to continually playing well, but he's put a lot of work in. You know, Austin Williams, he got hurt in the first game. He's been out for a month now, and he's back. And he gives us, I think he gives us a little bit of steadiness as a freshman. So the 4 freshmen have played a lot. We wasn't planning on that, but they played a lot, and they've had their ups and downs. And hopefully, I think that, like I said, I think our preseason schedule hardened them a little bit, and so they get ready for the conference schedule.
You know, you're a big-time Philly sports fan, and we were chatting the other day, and you said, you know, there's kind of a parallel between what the Eagles did this year and what we've done this year in terms of protecting the ball.
Yeah, well, we've been bad with turnovers, man, and that's been our Achilles heel. But you know, we got a freshman point guard. We're out there at times 3 and 4 freshmen at a time, and they don't understand about, you know, much of we talk about, hey, take care of the ball, cherish the possessions, cherish the ball. We've had our ups and downs with it. So we've had our good games, we've had our bad. You know, you turn the ball over, you keep giving the opportunities for the other team to score against you, it's going to bite you. And we've been bitten a few times because of it. But like I said, hopefully we get better with it, and we have a little better success with it in the conference play.
Well, 2-9 is not the season we dreamed of, but that part is behind us. We're going to move on to conference play. It's going to do it for this little conversation right here, but check back here on DrexelDragons.com. At some point, we'll post another conversation. We'll talk about what's going to happen, what we expect to happen when we get to conference play. I'm Rob Brooks. It's Bruiser Flint. We'll talk to you next time.